time. So we're going to move on to Rob in New York and Long Island, and you have evidence about the Bible, and you're on with Tracy and Jen.
How you doing, Miss Peebles? How you doing, Jen? I'm just trying to keep good. Being the second caller is hard. You touched upon a couple of tough subjects, things that I don't talk about, and I'm aware of. But I'm a feminist.
Good.
I really am.
Okay.
Pretty much counter to the psychiatrist who said he's a feminist. And the only way I can relate to put a spin on what the topic was is the only way you can really discuss that subject of motherhood is through personal stories. To use the medical procedure is a poor example of what we're talking about, I think. And that's the difference of why people defend or want the law to be changed, and because of the
But people don't want the law to be changed.
Oh, well, we want the law to be changed.
Well, yes, I understand you do, but the majority of people in this country don't want abortion laws to be changed.
I'm not aware of that statistic. I think that was a...
Then you need to pay more attention, because polls are very consistent. There's overwhelming support for continuing to make abortion legal.
I've never seen, I glanced through the papers. I haven't seen a poll on abortion in a long time.
Yeah, they do them repeatedly.
I've seen it on opioids,
it's a hot topic.
Addictions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's a hot topic, especially...
Yeah, they do a lot of public
three
polling
laws
on it. Yeah.
The 3 states brought in. But once again, it's a personal story. If you want
That's fine. I mean, I'm sure they have personal stories in Canada. Yeah, they don't have laws governing abortion there.
We're not talking about laws. We're talking about the women who have had them.
Women have had them in Canada, I'm sure. Yeah.
They've had them everywhere. Once again,
and they don't need laws there. They don't have laws there. They don't need them here.
I can only relate to the personal stories of the women I know. Now, if you want, so why would I say, well, this statistic counters to the personal stories that I know? Why would I say it? Because they don't agree.
I don't know what you mean about, they don't agree. And I don't even know, so a person has a personal story. There are lots of personal stories, I'm sure.
But that's what I'm saying. To talk about the issue of motherhood compared to abortion.
No, we're not talking about motherhood compared to abortion. We're talking about the right to bodily autonomy. Right.
All right, if you want to call it bodily autonomy.
It's called bodily autonomy.
Yeah, if you want to talk about it in the sense of medicine or the removal of the fetus, it's totally out of character of what the nature of the procedure is.
No, it isn't.
Women, yes, it is.
No.
It's an unfamiliar. It's if you talk to women that have had them, or you've known what their condition is.
What makes you think we've never? I have friends who have had abortions and friends who have had children. What makes you think I don't have friends who have had them? Yeah, I've actually worked as an escort at an abortion clinic. I know friends who have had abortions who feel like that was the best decision they ever made, and I have friends who feel bad about it. It just depends on the person.
That's what we're talking about.
No, it's not. No, it's not. What we're talking about is it's their choice. It was their choice. And it should remain their choice. They should choose to have the child or to not have the child.
All right. We can leave it. It's a personal story, but if you want to go statistically, since we've allowed that procedure into the system, let's say the incidence of childhood violence has risen. A lot of things have changed.
No. It absolutely has not. And in fact, there's some statistics out there that show that about 17 years after Roe v. Wade became the law of the land, teenage violence dropped precipitously. And part of the reason for that was that a bunch of unwanted kids were not born.
Teenage violence is still there. And I'm talking about...
It's very low now compared to what it was in the early 90s.
Take care of children. Do you talk to police officers at all?
Yes. I think the thing that's weird to me is that it seems like these children that are being treated violently couldn't be treated violently unless somebody chose to have a child. Yeah. So you're basically making an argument that people who decided to have kids are disproportionately.
I'm sorry.
You're saying that people who chose to have children have somehow elevated child violence, which means that, maybe more people should be having abortions.
Yeah. No, maybe in the back of if you put into the context of thought, well, gee, I could have had an abortion instead of. There's a lot of, what people think in their minds. And
anybody can have an abortion, whether it's legal or not. It doesn't have to be legal for somebody to think I could have had an abortion. Making it illegal doesn't make it inaccessible.
I can only go by the statistics.
No, this is a reality.
You don't have any statistics.
It's like saying drugs are illegal, so there are no drugs in the U.S., right? Because it's illegal, so there are none. No one's doing drugs.
Actually, drug use and opioid deaths gone up. So
what I'm saying though is your argument that if it's legal, people will think I could have had an abortion, and I'm saying whether it's legal or not, people could have had an abortion.
If you diminish motherhood, because that's what you're talking about does, the removal of a fetus from a woman's
No, it doesn't.
Body.
It absolutely does not diminish motherhood.
Forcing people to have babies diminishes motherhood.
Yeah.
Teenage pregnancy's gone up. Abortions have gone up.
Yeah, teenage pregnancies have gone up because access to birth control has been limited by people who want to punish people for having sex.
How does this prove the Bible?
There's more birth control out there now than there ever was before.
It's not as accessible as it should be. And you know what happens when it is accessible? Go take a look at what happened in Colorado. When they made birth control universally available to teenage girls, guess what happened to the unplanned pregnancy rate and the abortion rate in Colorado?
Went down.
Yes, it did. You think they stopped having sex?
Can a woman stay on the pill?
How many years can a woman stay on the pill? As long as she wants.
That's not what I've heard. Actually, I've met a few women.
You don't know jack shit,
I don't
dude.
talk about my age, but I'm going to say I'm into my 50s and I'm on hormonal birth control. So, yeah, I take that to the bank.
And I've also met women that have had problems from it, too.
Yeah, and there are people who have problems from Lipitor, but they still give it to people.
Yeah.
Well, there's a big difference between Lipitor and birth control.
No, you're right.
Birth control is safer than Lipitor.
Fine. That's fine. That's fine.
Birth control pills are safer than Tylenol.
How?
And this is why Nicholas is doing such a good thing talking to men.
Yeah.
Just saying. Thank you, Nicholas.
Him? I don't think he really understands that much. Because
I think you should spend an hour with him.
Yeah.
I've talked to plenty of psychiatrists. There are ones who are
I bet you have.
Yeah. But there are psychologists that pray before you go into their counseling.
I prefer psychologists who are sure in their skills.
Well, just as skilled. There are psychologists in this country that travel the world helping trauma victims.
Sure.
Who've been raped, who've been murdered.
Yep.
And they're Catholics.
Okay.
Yeah. So
organization. So, nickel and dime, a woman who has a religious or any person has a religious background in a world where secularity is really up there on the list of popularity right now and is having problems grappling with society. Yeah, you're going to have a problem there. You
realize most people are theistic still.
If marriage isn't necessary anymore, because and the word religion.
I'm sorry that your childhood comfort things are going away.
Yeah.
Huh? Why did you say these are my childhood comfort things?
Didn't you just say something about you don't have to get married anymore? And it's like, yeah, these are things that are becoming antiquated. Yes.
They're not antiquated. It's like a.
You just said it was. You just finished saying it's going away.
Well,
what do you think antiquated means?
It could be a phase. You ever heard of a phase?
I don't see this coming back.
Yeah.
You don't see marriage coming back.
Not in the way you're thinking. I think the types of marriages that are coming are not what you're envisioning. But
I think with the ones that you're envisioning are going to fail. It's not. It's
the ones that you envision fail. Hello, I'm divorced.
They started failing 40 or 50 years ago. That's not a long time. For something that's been around for thousands of years.
Yeah, people are now allowed to actually get out of unhappy relationships, and so they do.
Yeah.
What causes the unhappy relationship? That's another
Probably husbands like you.
Yeah.
Me?
Yeah, because I wouldn't last 5 minutes.
Do you think I come home and pop on the TV set? Do I walk around the house?
No, I think you walk around saying that a woman isn't even a human being because you've heard stories.
I don't know what you're talking about. Those are women that tell these stories. My wife has always been an opinion in my life. To say that behind every good man isn't a good woman, or behind every good woman isn't a good man, is kind of a little...
All right, are we going to talk about the Bible? Because this is going south fast.
Yeah, I know. It's just when you come in after a caller, it's a little bit different. It's different.
Yeah, well, we've got other callers, so let's hit your topic.
All right. Oh, God. I think... I lost my train of thought. I think we should say, as far as the Garden of Eden goes, that the forbidden fruit that was eaten, and this is what I was given. In the beginning, God didn't even tell anybody about the forbidden fruit. It was found by accident.
Who told you that?
God.
I thought he told them that they could eat of any tree except for that one.
Yeah.
That was just a small part of the story.
Right, but it's still part of the story, right? I mean, you're basically saying that God didn't tell them about the tree, and I think he told them it was forbidden.
There were other people in the garden, weren't there?
It's not in the story.
It depends who you listen to. There's a lot of...
Well, I'm just looking at, this is about the Bible being true, right? Wasn't that your call? Like, I'm looking at, like, the Bible story. There was no children until after they left the garden.
Yeah.
Or did you hear a different story, maybe from one of those women you talked to?
Yeah.
No,
you got to remember they lie, right? Like, evil leads you wrong.
There are Christian theologists that believe there was that there was a civilization.
Right, so is this evidence about the Bible, or is this evidence about a theological story that you heard somebody else tell?
Same thing. This is what was taught to me.
By who?
Originally, the first biting of the apple, nobody even knew what the forbidden fruit was. It was discovered by accident.
Yeah, but it doesn't even say it's an apple. It just said it was a fruit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. That is a symbolism, correct. If you wanted to say, did Jesus heal a blind man or walk on water? That is not symbolism. That is the true power of God. I can discern.
So the fruit is a symbol, but walking on water, that's totally fact.
That he did.
And how do we know this?
Parted the Red Sea.
Yeah, and we know this. Wait, part of the Red Sea. Wait, that's the story of the Exodus. Yeah.
Right, correct. Yeah.
Right, that's not historic fact.
Yeah, I know. That you don't like to hear, but let me...
isn't fact. There's no history around this.
Yeah.
You know, when we can go back to Jesus. You talk about witnesses.
Okay. Yeah, we got to go back to Jesus because...
Yeah, we have to. Well, listen, it's a long history, 6,000 years, right?
We don't have that kind of time.
I know. Our last topic. All right. All the witnesses that saw Jesus, and that includes the apostles, a lot of them were crucified. And to compare
That's what they say.
Compare Harry Potterism, that in thousands of years people are going to look back. It's kind of like an irresponsible take on history. People died because of that religion.
Yeah, people died because of all kinds of religions.
Yeah.
Persecution, big difference there.
People killed because of that religion.
That's correct. But he knew he was going to die anyway. He did. That's the way it was written.
Yeah, this is a story. Yeah, but okay, are we just going to go through what the Bible claims, or is there anything that we're going to hit that's actually evidence for the Bible being correct?
The way I see the picture of your groups is, you want to be ex-children of God. That's put it differently. You used to call it atheism.
You don't get to tell people what they think about, like whatever.
No. In the end, when all is said and done, I will have a way to prove to you that you are related to God. And it'll be a simple test.
Can I do it through 23andMe?
Yeah. What?
Yeah.
No, I never watched that.
Okay. If this is a troll call, it's actually pretty funny.
We're all children of God.
Okay.
You could sit there, you could talk. I don't know how many years you've been on the air, but all the conversations
feels like forever.
Yeah. All the conversations you have, I could prove that you're wrong.
Okay, well, let's just try one.
Yeah, your best one.
Best what?
Best piece of evidence.
There's a machine that will test you to see if there's God in you.
Really? Where do I find this machine?
Is this another woman's story?
No, it's not.
Okay, where's the machine?
I can't tell you how the test is going to be because pretty much have to talk to sexuality.
I'm starting to think that I think I'm being trolled.
Yeah, it does feel like a troll.
No, you're not. If you don't think I'm serious?
No, I'm going to have to say no. So we're